In this video, you're going to learn how to edit the slideshow on your website. The first thing you're going to want to do is open up your internet browser. I prefer Google Chrome, so I'll be using that. Next, you're going to need to go to yourwebsite.com/wp-admin to log in. Once you're there, you'll see a page like this, and you'll be asked for your username and password. If you're not sure what that is, just shoot us an email asking for your username and password for the WordPress dashboard, and we'll be happy to help you out. Once you've logged in, you'll see your main dashboard view like this. What I'd first like you to do is right-click on your site name up here in the top left, and either click Open Link in New Tab or Open Link in New Window, whichever you'd prefer. And then you're going to need to go to that new tab or new window. So we see right here that we have a slider on our home page, which is what I'd like to change. What I'll first do is go back in here to my dashboard, scroll to the very bottom, and I should see something that says Slide Deck. If for some reason it's not at the bottom, check the rest of your left-hand sidebar, and if you still can't find it, that means that you don't have a slider installed, and you're going to need to watch the different video that teaches you how to install the Slide Deck plugin. So assuming that you do see a Slide Deck over here on the left, I want you to just click the name Slide Deck. Once you've done that, you'll be brought to the main Slide Deck status options page, and you'll see your existing slide decks in this area right here. So I see that the only one I have is the home page slider. And I see that there's this little light bulb next to it, which indicates that it's called a smart slide deck. Now there are two kinds of slide decks. There are normal slide decks and smart slide decks. They both do basically the same thing, but the way that you edit them is very different. For smart slide decks, such as the one that I have, as I can tell by the light bulb, the different slides within it are created from posts. For normal slide decks, they're created by editing the settings of that slide deck. So first I'm going to show you what to do if you have a smart slide deck, as that is the one that we most commonly use. If by chance you have a standard slide deck, like the one you see here, which is indicated by the lack of a light bulb, like you see on the smart slide deck, you can either fast forward to 9 minutes and 4 seconds, or click the link that pops up in the top right. So first we're going to want to click into our slide deck, and you can do this by just clicking the link that is the name of it, and we'll see all these different settings. You can ignore all of these, but you'll want to scroll down until you see this type of content area, and it should probably say recent posts, and it'll also be filtered by category. The thing you're going to want to make note of is what this says down here, the one with the checkbox. Mine says home page slider. So what that means is that any post that has home page slider as the category will automatically be displayed in my slide deck. I know that that probably doesn't make sense right now, but just commit this category to your memory. What we'll next do is scroll back up to the top, and over here on the left-hand side of your dashboard where it says posts, it might not be expanded, it might look more like this. Just click where it says posts. And what you'll see now is a list of all of your posts. And if we look over here under categories, I can see that they're all categorized as home page slider, which tells me that each of these is a different slide. So let's say I want to add a new slide. All I need to do is click this Add New button up here at the top next to Posts. First, I need to type in the name of the slide. So Sample Caption 1. The reason I wrote Sample Caption is that the name of the slide will display as a caption. So great customer service is actually the title of a post. Networking is the title of a post. So if I type Sample Caption 1, it's going to get displayed at the top like this. Next, I'm going to click Add an Image. And by now, I'm assuming that if you have images you want to add, they're in a certain folder somewhere on your computer where you can find them. So what you'll do after you click Add an Image, which again is just this little picture link right here, you're going to click this big Select Files button to grab them from your computer. Once you've done that, it'll pop up with a window like this, and you're just going to navigate to the folder on your computer where you saved those images. For me, I saved mine on the desktop, so if I go there and scroll down, I see that I have my new image right here. So once you've found the image that you want to add for this slide, click it, then click Open. You'll see it upload, and then it'll do the crunching thing. And once it's finished, you should see a little thumbnail, as well as the file name and all of these other things. For the dimensions, it's best that your image be at least 900 pixels wide so that it's still high quality. Because if it's only a couple hundred pixels wide, it'll be really grainy because it's not supposed to be so big. And then we are going to scroll down this pop-up window a little bit. You can change the title if you want. Most people won't see this, but it never hurts to change it. So I'll just change it to whatever I have as the caption. For the link URL, you can just click None. And for the size, you want to make sure that that's at full size. Once you've chosen all of these options, you can just click this Insert into Post button. And you should see a big picture within your post. Once you've done that, you're going to want to scroll down on your right side until you see this Categories box. Now, the category that I had you memorize a couple of minutes ago when we were looking at the slide deck settings is going to be the category that you want to check here. So for me, it was Homepage Slider. So I'm just going to click the checkbox next to Homepage Slider in my categories. Now that we've got the image added, the category selected, and the caption typed in, I can just click Publish. What's great about this slide deck plugin is that it automatically resizes your images to fit within your gallery, which makes things simpler for you, which is all the better. So if we go back into our view of the home page and just click the refresh button, we see that our new slide comes up first. Now you may remember when we were looking at the slide deck settings that there was one option that allowed you to choose how many posts are displayed in the slide deck. If you were to want to add another slide rather than insert a new one which will remove an old one, you're going to need to change the amount of images the slide deck displays. So for example, my slide deck displays 7 images and I already had 7 in there. So by adding this new image, I essentially pushed out one of my old images. So if I want to show all 8 images, I'm going to need to go back into my dashboard, scroll way down to the bottom again under Slide Deck and click it. And just like before, once we're at the slide deck page, we're going to click into our home page slider. Then if you scroll down to where it says Total Slides to Display, just click that little drop down, select the appropriate number, and then scroll up and click the blue Update button. Now if I go to my home page and click refresh, I should see that it shows all 8 slides. So if I count these little buttons down here, I see that I have 8 of them. So now we know how to edit smart slide decks, but what if you have a standard slide deck? Well, now I'm going to show you how to edit that. The first thing you're going to need to do is to go into your dashboard. You can either click into the other tab, or if you already closed that one, you can hover over this little arrow here and then click Dashboard. From here we want to scroll all the way down into the slide deck area, so just click Slide Deck. Once you're back on your slide deck page, you'll see both your slide decks here. And I've added a new standard slide deck here to show you how to edit it. So we're going to click into our standard slide deck. Within here we can scroll through and look at all the different slides and options and such. And I can see over here on the right that I have 3 different slides. I have my standard slide deck page pulled up in a new window, it's just the page just showing the standard slide deck. And you'll notice that the main difference between a normal slide deck and a standard slide deck, or rather a smart slide deck and a standard slide deck, is that standard slide decks have these visible slides that you can select. The downside of standard slide decks is that they're not going to automatically resize your images. So I had to do this resizing myself, and even then they sometimes look a little bit awkward depending on the previous dimensions of your image. But going back into our slide deck settings, we see each of our images here. And if for any reason we want to add a new slide, we can just scroll down a little bit. You'll see it on the right under Reorder Slides. You can click Add Another Slide. And you'll see that slide 4 shows up there at the bottom. So if we scroll down to the bottom of this view, we see slide 4 here. And just like with the Smart Slide Deck, we can click Add an Image. We'll see this pop-up window to add it from our computer. We can then click Select Files, and I'll just do slide 7 here. While it's uploading, it'll show you the progress, and then it'll say that it's crunching it. Once it's done, it'll show you a thumbnail preview and the various options of it. You're going to want to scroll down to Size and select Large. The reason for this is that the slide deck is usually about 300 pixels tall. This one's 800 pixels tall, so we're just going to need to resize it a little bit. And make sure that the file URL is where it's linking to. And then click Insert into Post. You'll see the image show up like this. What you'll then want to do is left-click the image once, and you'll see it selected in blue like this one. And then click this little Picture Options thing that comes up. You'll see a pop-up window again. And this is where we can resize it using the different percentages. So I'm going to click 60% initially, and then go on over to the advanced settings to see what that does to it. So that takes it to 484 as the height. So I'll click Update, and I want it to be a little bit shorter. So I'm going to left click, then go Edit Image again. Click 60%. We're at 290, so maybe I'll do 70%, which puts us at a little bit over 300. Then I'll scroll down and click Update. Now that I've got this slide image looking nice, I can scroll to the top of the page, click Update my slide deck. Once it says that it's updated, I'm going to go view my page on the site, refresh the page, then check out slide 4. Looks pretty nice to me. If I wanted my image to be shorter, I could do the exact same thing we just did by editing the size of the image with the percentages. And thus concludes the video on how to edit your slide deck. If you have any questions, feel free to visit websitesforless.org and contact us. Thanks!